Good evening. It'll pick up. We're going to get started on tonight's city council meeting. If you would, Mr. Crook, would you give us a prayer, please? Yes, sir.
Father, we thank you so much for the love and kindness. We thank the Lord for each and every one that's able to be here this night. We ask for blessings upon them, dear Lord God. We ask for blessings upon city council meeting, dear Lord, that everything be done according to your will. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. What you said.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
I think I punched out the song.
Go for it. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Barentine. Councilmember Weir.
Present.
Councilmember Hefner.
Present.
Councilmember McMinn.
Present.
Councilmember Brooke.
We have a quorum. Everyone's here. For confirmation, we have Facebook Live. Okay, with Facebook Live. First on the agenda tonight is review and approval of the July 9th special council meeting. I entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
We have a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's approved. Next up is the July 20th council meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Next up on the agenda is department reports. I'd entertain a motion to approve as presented. We have a motion. We have a second. We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up on the agenda is the planning commission. Planning commission did not meet last month. I will tell you they will meet on August 24th. It'll be a joint session with the planning commission and y'all, the city council. Metro Plan will be here to talk to us about going forward. That moves us to old business. The appointment of council member for Ward 2, position 1. Last month, the person did not get enough votes to be seated, so we carried it forward to this month. I will give an option for each individual to come up and speak again if they wish. If not, we'll just go into voting. So, gentlemen, either one of y'all, there's only 2 of you. Eric, you wish to speak? You're good? All right, everybody's good. Well, if you would, go ahead and cast your vote for one of the 3, and Chief's coming up, he'll gather your ballots. Or
Do we need to fold them?
can. Oh, you don't need it over there. Speaking of Mike.
3 for Eric Harbort and 2 for Jeff Williams.
3 is the requisite number to put on the council. Mr. Eric, come on forward. You want to join the council tonight?
Sure.
I will swear you in, sir. How about you come on up here? Raise your right hand, stay 6 foot away. There you go. Raise your right hand, say aye, state your name.
I, Eric Harbord,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Arkansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Arkansas,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I'll faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of City Council Member
and I'll faithfully discharge the duties of the city councilman
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Cool, have a seat. We'll get that all filled out, you'll sign it later. Very good. Let the record show that Mr. Eric Hobart has joined City Council this evening as a full-fledged member. And with that, we'll move into new business. First on the agenda is a presentation by Cabot School System. Let's see if, I think he's online.
I'm here, Mr. Mayor.
All right, let me see. You want to share or you just want to talk or you can share your screen?
I can just talk if that's all right.
Okay, let me see if we
I
don't
can
have a lot of
share-
sound coming out. Hang on a second. I'm trying to get the sound to come out somewhere where everybody can hear it.
I guess I should have just shown up physically instead of virtually.
Well, no. Can y'all hear that? Say a couple words, see if we got you.
Yeah, test. You got me out there?
And it's not coming over the screen for whatever reason. Let me see here.
Test.
Try it again.
Hello, test. We good?
Not coming over the speakers? I knew where the speakers were to help. All right, give it a shot, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay. So, as everybody's probably aware, we are reaching a brave new world when it comes to education and the potential at any time for kids to have to go home and learn from the house. And that presents a set of challenges for some of our population, especially in rural areas and those without the means to afford high-speed internet. So we're trying to work with Ward and Austin and Cabot eventually on trying to access some water towers or some cellular towers or things that are in possession by the cities to bounce a signal off of and deliver network services to some of our students that are unable to obtain that otherwise. The state of Arkansas has recently given some funds to provide Wi-Fi hotspots to students, but we get about 300 of those for Cabot, and our school system has about 10,300 students. So it does help, but it is a small number for the needs that we're addressing. So we're trying to, while we have those, try to find an alternate means of communication between now and the 2-year deadline on those hotspots.
To summarize, Cabot School System is looking at possibly utilizing towers within the cities within their school system to create Wi-Fi sites for their students. The state has provided some hotspots, but you only got 300 for your school district. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, so we got 300, but nothing in concrete yet, but it's just an idea that the school system may float to us about putting similar to what we approved for Aristotle on that one tower to put Wi-Fi antennas on the other towers so we can reach out. There's a lot of children in Cabot School System and all the other school systems, for that fact, who don't have Wi-Fi, and during this new normal, as we hate to say, that's just the way it's going to be. And so we have to find ways to partner with our school system here to make sure that our kiddos can get online and get the education that they deserve. There's no decision to be being made tonight on any of that. It's just an informational briefing. Does that cover about well?
Yes, very well. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Do we have any questions for them? It is. You just got a compliment from Jim McMahon, says you had very good work ethics.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Okay, this will come before council at some point in time. Andy and I will be working to work out some things as we get closer, but eventually it'll come to council for action.
One question, how soon is Aristotle gonna have the wireless up on the towers? Is there any way we can work it together?
And now, two separate companies to begin with. And also and correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, but the Wi-Fi that you put up will be private Wi-Fi only to the students, not available to the public as a whole, correct?
That is the immediate, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Aristotle is different, and I'll brief that in my mayor's report, but that's coming along. All right, anything else? If no questions, Andy, I appreciate it very much. And
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity.
all right, you take care. Very good. All right. Next up on the agenda is the first read on ordinance 2020-09. Madam Clerk, would you read the title, please?
Ordinance 2020-09, an ordinance establishing the City of Ward, Arkansas Animal Control Code, repealing ordinance 2007-1 and for other purposes.
I'll start this by a discussion. There's a lot of things that need to be changed in the 2007 ordinance that we're bringing forward, and in particular is adoption policy and some other things, bringing it up to some standards that have been by the state legislator. But this doesn't have to go tonight. I would like it if we had a first reading tonight, but if it doesn't, we want to table it because there is a lot of content to read. Art Brooke has provided me with several questions, a lot of typos, a couple typos, and just some questions he has that we have to research out. But this has been through our council, been reviewed by Chief Police and, of course, the animal control officers. This will provide them a better tool for doing their job. I would entertain a motion, though, to put ordinance 2020-09 on its first reading. We have a motion to put ordinance 2020-09 on first reading. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I open the floor for discussion.
I'm going to go ahead and wait until questions or whatever that Mr. Brooke is giving you. Hear from them, we'll think this over, read this over for a month. For second reading.
Okay, so with that and no further questions, I will ask for a roll call for approval for first reading, and then we'll go from there.
Councilmember Weir,
Yes.
Councilmember Harbord,
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner,
Yes.
Councilmember McMinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke.
No,
Motion carries for first reading. We'll carry this over to next time, and I'll make these corrections. You'll get-
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Would you like to vote, Ms. Joanne?
Councilmember Baradine, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, my apology.
What was it?
Okay, motion carries. Anyway, I'll get these questions that Mr. Brooke asked up, make some corrections. We'll get you another copy of the ordinance, the attachment in particular, and it'll be highlighted in yellow so you'll know what we changed based on his input.
Can we hear the questions?
Well, he just looks like just some,
I mean, maybe some
Semantics.
we have.
uh,
What about the goat?
what about the goat?
There's no goats anymore?
Oh, this is
Or
good.
did we allow goats before?
Well,
When
Did
you
somebody
read
eat it?
When you read it like at the top and stuff, it'll say pertaining to dog, pertaining to whatever.
mhm.
Right, and
The only thing I found.
I thought I didn't know, not having the old ordinance.
You do now.
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah, you've been provided the old ordinance.
okay.
And that's why I said,
That was
let's,
always my problem is
Let's-
we have an ordinance that's changed, but I don't have the old one to see what's changed.
you're right. And I've been trying to get better at that, and we will get better at
Thank you,
that.
sir.
We've approved it first reading. It'll come back next month. Please read both ordinances.
Yes.
The new ordinance is rehash of the old ordinance, plus a bunch of other stuff. And some of the things that Art Brook looked upon, then I'll research these and see where we go from there. So,
Mr. Mayor,
yes, sir.
just a comment. One of the things I think, I don't know how many read this, and I don't think you read this ordinance at all. Just being fair, you were on the city council back years ago, and we went through about 18 months. 18 months. Oh, I'm sorry. It took about 18 months to develop because of the pitfall
Oh, yeah.
problem that was statewide, and it fell on us too, and so forth and so forth. But I think it, just my personal opinion, that every council member needs to really read that. And I did give you a list
You
of
did.
18 pages to this new ordinance. And that's quite lengthy, to be honest, and I got tired of reading it. But I read it because there was a lot of challenges there. The fine issue to me is an important deal. Because there is an ordinance in the system that allows the judge to fine up to $1,000 1 year in jail, as long as we don't put an amount in there. Once we put an amount in there, he's locked in. That's all the judge can do. He can't do anything else. Well, the attorney here is not correct. Okay. So that's my point, that I think they need to read it and understand what's actually in that ordinance. And it took all your power away from you. You're the CEO of the city. And I think that you need to have say so in this. All you can do is enforce the ordinance. You have no power in it other than what's in the ordinance. So that's one of my recommendations. You saw that, and I mentioned it to you down here, that, you have to have some power in this thing. The judge needs to have some power in this. The homeowners, the people that have tax, need to have some power in this ordinance. And some of it was left out. The ordinance itself is not bad, but there are points in there that need to be addressed by this council. It's the people, this animal shelter belongs to the people in this city. It does not belong to any one person. It belongs to the taxpayer. And that's what we really need to look at. They're the ones putting the bill down there. And I know that maybe somebody on the council here has had issues with an animal. Okay, I have. Okay, as far as that goes, and we got those things worked out. But I think that, again, they need to read it and understand what's in it. The tagging is that in there for register your animal, that seems pretty fair to me. To that, as far as what the fees are and so forth. But I think they need to look at it and see. We don't want to create a burden. At the same time, we want it to be fair to the people who are paying the bills.
It's interesting, Mr. Brook, that you bring up the fines that are listed in the ordinance, the draft ordinance. They're exactly verbatim from an ordinance you signed in 2007. Fees and all. Yes, sir. Verbatim.
I have a copy of the old ordinance.
You do now.
Yeah, I just got it tonight.
Mr. Brook, this is why this is first reading. You have 2 more chances.
That's right. Well, I'm just saying, but that fines were verbatim from what you signed in 2007.
And if that's the case, it certainly needs to be changed.
Okay.
As you know, that is this first reading, second reading, you pick that up.
I read it because my horse is run down the road every once in a while. I can't read it.
Okay. Read the ordinance, the old ordinance, the new ordinance before next meeting. I'll take a look at some of these things in here. I'll have a discussion with Chris, our city attorney, on some of these items, and we're going. I'll tell you right now, we have several ordinances that we're looking at updating that are, and I'll talk about one later on this evening. That's
They haven't
Where
read
they-
the latest publication. They haven't read the latest publication you've given us, and I saw nothing about a fine in there. My eyes picked out. Perhaps I missed it.
You did, it was in there. It's in there. But again, I'll read it. We'll discuss it again, and that's the beauty of not fast tracking ordinances. You have the ability to read it over, a little more. I actually wanted to give it to you as a read ahead last month, but it wasn't ready. So anyway, so we'll move on. Resolution 2020-21. Clerk, would you read the title, please?
Resolution 2020-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor and or the city clerk of the city of Ward to sell the fire department rescue units via other means other than govdeals.net.
If you'll recall, several months ago, we authorized the sale of the rescue vehicle on govdeals.net. It didn't get the initial reserve or the second reserve we put in at $15,000. There's been some discussion through fire department channels that it is worth every bit what we think it's worth. It just, GovDeals has a fee that they charge too, and some smaller departments don't want to pay that fee. By releasing it out, and the resolution said to sell it by gov.net, didn't give me an option to do anything else. This now gives us an option to advertise locally through the fire department channels, and I think we'll sell. I think we'll sell for a good price, but just needed that to not be tied into govdeals.net. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve resolution 2020-21.
I'll make a motion to do that.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? And we have a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Harbord,
Yes.
Councilmember Heckner,
Yes.
Councilmember McMinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooks,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine. Yes. And Councilmember Weir.
Yes.
And City Clerk, I have not asked, but have we had any comments on any of those two issues that we just brought up? Okay. We'll make sure. All right, that resolution passed. Thank you very much. And we'll get that out and see if we can get that truck sold. Next on the agenda is resolution 2022. And Clerk, would you read the title, please?
Resolution 2020-22, a resolution authorizing the mayor and or the city clerk of the city of Ward to enter into a contract to purchase a new police vehicle.
Chief, would you come forward, please? I believe in your packet tonight, you were provided with current listing of all the vehicles. That was at the request of Ms. Hefner. Chief is wanting to buy a new vehicle for himself, pass his down to CID, who in turn passes the vehicle down to patrol. The bids are on there. The actually lowest bid is better than the state contract, believe it or not. But Chief, expand on why you need a new vehicle and passing it down. What are we looking at?
Well, as you and I discussed the other day, I have two funded positions that are not filled. I'm attempting to fill one now. If I get that filled, I'm gonna be fair on bid. I get the second position filled, I'm gonna be short on bid. I'm just looking to make sure I have enough vehicles for all the officers to be able to do their job.
Good point.
How many miles are on this 1999 Marquis?
Oh, the Marquis? Truthfully, I don't know. We're not using it. And it can't be used as a police vehicle.
Well,
That's what
not as a patrol car, but as a, one of the,
CID,
yeah.
they still have to be police vehicles, I think, according to law. Once you put blue lights in it, nobody can use them but them. But no,
I don't know how many miles is on that vehicle.
I would not.
Just ask them.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, but I've driven a Marquis. It's a great road car out on the highway. Around town, it's an old Marquis.
Well, the police vehicles are designed for some of the things we end up doing. Better suspension, bigger radiators, different transmissions because of the type of work,
Bigger brakes,
bigger brakes.
the ability to put a cage in the back of it, things like that.
Yeah, but we're not like we said earlier, it's not like it's a Lona County, like they do more than what the city offices do. You're not gonna do 100.
Not say employed.
Very good.
Just saying. I'm saying you don't need like the souped up car, it'll do its job.
No, but you need a police package.
Aren't we talking about getting a new vehicle and not about anything we have in law right now?
Pardon me?
aren't we talking about getting a new vehicle, not a 1999 Marquis that's on the lot right now?
Well, coming up in a little bit is a resolution to get rid of the marquee, and I think she was, Ms. Hefner was seeing him. I think she was just wondering about the feasibility of using it. Our recommendation is to purchase the vehicle from Red River. It's what, $106 more than a low bid? Or, I'm sorry, excuse me. It's a better deal than, it's $106 more than Red River, but it's closer. So in time for warranty work and for general maintenance, I will save time. I was amazed, honestly, that the state contract price, they beat that. I just, lesson learned. We'll bid out now on, even though there is a state contract or whatever. Any further discussion on this?
Do we not need a newer patrol car first? I mean, aren't those the miles put on the patrol cars?
You're saying buy a new patrol car? Well, if we bought a new Durango for a patrol instead of a truck, that's about what, $9,000 more?
By the time it's outfitted.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. The Durangos on the state bid right now are about $6,000 to $7,000 more than pickups.
Right.
The Ford Explorers, great vehicle, but last I heard, they're running about 16 months behind. You order today, you might get it in about 16 months.
So what are we pushing down by getting you a new truck?
Uh,
Are we pushing that 2008 with 209,000 miles to the unfilled position?
Well, hopefully that one will end up, you always need a spare unit because something's gonna break down, so.
And that's what she's saying. Why wouldn't you just buy a new patrol car that would benefit what you need? Because that 2009, 209,000 miles, how much longer does it have left? You know what I mean?
Well, as a spare, who knows?
Actually, I think what we were talking about was moving Castleberry 2012 Dodge Durango with an engine of 75,000 miles to patrol. He would get the Chief's Dodge Ram. The Chief would get the new one.
So the police officers would get a Durango.
Correct.
That's what I meant. What are we passing that?
Those Ford Explorers down there, we bought those from Chicago Motors last year, and then COVID-19 hit, and that kind of went down to twos. But we may be coming back and look for another vehicle anyway. But this gets us started down the right road, and I'm a firm believer in buying as best we can the new stuff with warranties, last longer. That's just the way I think we ought to do business. Whether it's police cars, fire trucks, fire tractors, trailers, whatever. Buying secondhand. Now we can find good things at state sale. The vehicle that I drive occasionally, and everybody else borrows it too, is a very good vehicle. It was with the lottery system. You never know. I mean, that's in personal matter too. I hate buying used vehicles.
The new vehicle, it will last a long time. And that's just my opinion.
Right.
That's what I think we should have a new one. If we're trying to buy a secondhand one, you never know what's going to be wrong with it.
Any further discussion?
I think that
Put your mic on, Miss. I know it's a new world. We got to put a mic on.
yeah, okay.
I'm gonna buy you a mic.
Start again, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I think that the police chief has done an outstanding job of managing the vehicle fleet.
Yes.
And I'm in favor of this resolution, so I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the table to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hefner,
I still have questions, so now,
Councilmember McMinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooks,
Yes? Yes.
Councilmember Barentine,
Yes.
Councilmember Weir,
Yes.
and Councilmember Hardwick.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ms. Hefner, I'm sorry, I did not ask you if all questions were done, but outcome is it, but I'd be welcome to entertain the question.
Well, it's basically, I have no problem buying a brand new car, just like I said for the fire department, but I just think that the patrol car with 2,900 or 209,000 miles should be what's replaced.
It's eventually going to be moved to the part-time.
Well, it will be a spare, and when my part-time auxiliary guys come in to work to do warrant services,
Right.
that would be one sitting there everybody can use.
Actually, it's still a pretty good car.
Actually, it's still a great car.
Well, no, what my point is, and it's nothing to do with you, nothing personal. It's just, I think the patrol car should be new. Because they're out there chasing people and stuff. So, I mean,
And I understand.
and that's what my question is.
Okay.
How come we're not buying a brand new patrol car?
More money. And anyway, that's the direction where it is headed this way. But I appreciate counsel. Any more questions? I'm sorry.
I'm done now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Motion carries. Thanks, Chief. We'll get the paperwork started tomorrow on that. Oh, before I forget it, Mr. Hobart, you will need to come in and see Miss Deborah at some point because you have W-4s and all that kind of good stuff to fill out. You actually get paid for doing this.
Yeah, but be careful, your taxes go up and you have to pay in.
Are paying no taxes.
You didn't come on this for the money, did you? I hope not. All right. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2023. And Clerk, would you read the title, please?
Resolution 2020-23, a resolution authorizing the mayor of Ward to sign a joint letter of intent along with Cabot Mayor Kincaid, Austin Mayor Chamberlain, and Lone Oak City Judge Irwin requesting MetroPlan to fund the development and construction of a pedestrian/bike trail from Ward to Cabot through Austin under the Surface Transportation Program and for other reasons.
This is brought along from a call from MetroPlan for Surface Transportation Program projects. There was a letter of intent that had to be turned in by August 10th. Mayor Kincaid and Mayor Chamberlain and I had been discussing about possibility of a regional pedestrian bike trail. And part of the reason is because it's a push by MetroPlan in their bigger picture. They have dedicated the next 10 years of FCP $55 million for pedestrian bike trails in Central Arkansas. The goal is, there's what's called a Southwest Trail going from Southwest Little Rock, eventually to Benton, Bryant, or however those go, and then down to Hot Springs. The goal is to connect up to the northern part of the county and even over to Greenbrier, basically the Central Arkansas region. Potentially also, there's actually a national bike trail that in theory could come across Highway 64 and possibly drop down and connect to this if we had it available. They may go further south. This could also be the start of a tourism draw for the area. Mayor Kincaid had gone up to Iowa with his family, but they had bike trails up there, and about every 2 or 3 miles, there's a restaurant with alcohol sales along the bike trail. And he said 250 bikes at that restaurant, and they just go on. If you've ever been to Northwest Arkansas, there's a lot of pedestrian bike trails up there, I understand. This is where we're coming from. Cabot, Austin, and Ward are the largest cities within Lonoke County. Well, not necessarily Austin, but they are the fastest growing city in the MetroPlan area. The old days, in my belief, of cities just taking care of themselves and just doing what they do are gone. In the bigger picture, and the bigger money, regionalization, what's good for Cabot is good for us. What's good for us is good for Cabot and Austin, for Northern Lonoke County. This potentially, it's 5.4 miles. There's an attachment that is a draft. It is not set in concrete, this potential pathway, because we've also discussed coming down 367 across the Austin overpass and going down the side road, then tying into the Cabot bike park over there. RDOT, when they redo the Highway 89 overpass, is going to put a separate bicycle lane on the overpass. That's coming. This would tie into that. It was billed as City Hall to City Hall to City Hall. It's 5.4 miles as it stands, which could allow for 5K runs, half marathons, just some fun times connecting the 3 North Lonoke County cities together. I don't know. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But in order to even get considered, we had to do a letter of intent. And so the 4 of us, well, 3 of us, by permission, we signed Mayor Chamberlain's name. She was on vacation, was talking to us on the phone. This gets us in the door of Metro Plan. Then we have to have a plan to get developed and turned in by September 30th. And it's not just a sketch plat. That has to do, there's a whole entire checklist you have to go through now with Metro Plan. And we have to have all that done by September 30th. Cabot's engineering firm, and it's Half and somebody, I can't remember the full name, has agreed to work this up for us at about a $20,000 price tag for all 4 of us, about $5,000 each. We'll have to have that, or we will not be in contention to get anything. This resolution authorizes me, after the fact, to sign the letter of intent, and then authorizes, you understand that by entering into this, that we are entering into some engineering services that we'll need to pay for at a later point, but not to exceed my spending authority anyway. Discussion.
I'll make a motion.
Well, let's have discussion first.
I am so for this.
I am too.
I second.
I'm tired of riding my bike everywhere else. It'd be nice.
Okay, so that's kind of the discussion.
Was hitting people going between here and Austin.
Okay, so, Mr. Mann, do you have a motion?
Make a motion.
Do we have a second? We have a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McMahon,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooks,
Yes.
Councilmember Berentine.
Yes.
Councilmember Weir,
Yes.
Councilmember Harbord,
Yes.
Councilmember Huffman.
Yes.
Very good, thank you, Council. Let me also tell you that this project won't be, more likely will not be done in one phase. It's probably phased over several years. Like I said, Metro Plan has committed $55 million over 10 years to do this. They even talked about this, maybe it's the beginning of a trailway that goes over to Greenbrier down to Conway. It'd be crazy cool. But thank you very much, Council.
They could probably get BB in on it.
We could possibly get BB involved with it. All right. Next up on the agenda is the resolution 20-24. To read the title, please.
Resolution 2020-24, a resolution authorizing the mayor and or the city clerk of the city of Ward to sell certain vehicles to the highest bidder.
Do we have any public comment on any of this we can talk about? Okay. I keep forgetting to ask that. Very good. Open for discussion. There's a couple vehicles that we're just not using, and Mr. Brook remembers the Tiger truck from years ago. It's a unique little, it was a Flightline vehicle, right? If I remember correctly. Bought it from Federal Surplus. It's got all kinds of issues and you can't get parts for it to speak of, and we're not using those. And again, the 1999 Mercury Marquis, I can't remember how many mileage. We'll try to remember to start doing that because it's a good idea. We're just not using it. It's sitting there rotting, and we've used it a time too when I was an employee here, but it's a boat. And we're not using it now, and if we're not using it, why are we keeping it on our books and paying insurance on it? Pardon me? Still hard off me? This resolution doesn't utilize govdeals.net. This will just be on our city's website, social media.
Got to ask what.
How we tell them?
Resolution 21, like you're asking the same thing. Huh?
We're not asking to do it on.
Right. No, you're wanting to get rid of govdeals.net, and then here you're wanting to do the same thing.
Yeah.
We already agree. Highest bidder is the best way to go. Smart money.
Well, on certain vehicles, govdeals.net is a good idea. But in future resolutions, if we put something on govdeals.net, it'll have a time period that after 60 days or 90 days, but I'm sold, and we'll be authorized to go out to
We have to use govdeals.net.
We don't, but it's just, I think it's a good idea. I mean, we look at govdeals.net when we're looking for vehicles. for whatever. We look at things like that, but, we'll give it a shot. And if it sells, great. If it doesn't, then future resolutions will allow me to then put it to the highest bidder in the open. This doesn't even go to gov.deals. I don't think a Perka Marquee and certainly the Tiger truck, I don't think would be wasting our time. So, any further discussion? If not, I entertain a motion to approve resolution 2024.
So the
A motion. We have a second?
Second.
We have a second. That's your first second?
Yes.
Very good. Let me know when Eric had his first second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine,
Yes.
Councilmember Weir,
Yes.
Councilmember Marble,
Yes.
Councilmember Heffner,
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, council. Next on the agenda is the Ward Water and Sewer Department Independent Audit Report for your leisure reading at a later date. We'll tell you that nothing was found, everything's fine. Otherwise, there'd be all kinds of asterisks and stuff, and you can read through it, have fun. I read through it, and it's, I'm not a CPA. That's why we pay these people to do our audits. So with that, I need a motion to accept the Ward Water System Independent Audit Report as presented.
The
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is my report. I think everybody has a copy of it in front of them. The Highway 367, 319 project is still out there approved. I'm just waiting for RDOT and Metroplan to release that for bid. Supposedly it's supposed to be released in September. Since this has been on the books for 11 years, we'll be happy when that happens, but we also are just waiting. It'll happen. The Charge 3, the sidewalk project, all the right-of-way issues have been fixed. Waiting RDOT's approval to let go of bids. I just spoke to our point of contact on Monday of last week, and it's in the people's right hand, the proper people's hands for making that decision. They just haven't. There's a lot of state employees are still working from home, and that seems to have a slowdown in some things. Arkansas Economic Development Grant to remove the 17 homes off vacuum is still going. We have still working to get easement letters. Most have been signed. We've had to go out and talk to individuals specifically. They've had lots of questions, and but we're working through it. The engineer will begin making some on-site surveys soon. On site, not on site. The Parks and Tourism Grant for the concession stand and handicapped disabled playground out at the park has been submitted to CAPD, just waiting for their approval to go forward. The drainage study finally made it through the state, got word that they approved it, and still waiting on federal approval. And we're still waiting for Department of Health to give us a go-ahead on the Willard and Geraldine vacuum removal system. Talked about the regional bike trail. Give you an update. Our police department is updating their weapons from 45s to 9 mils. We've ordered 26 Glock 17s and 19 with a total cost of $5,100 after trade-in. This allows, and the chief can speak more of this if need be, but area departments are all going to 9 mils. So this will be compatibility and interoperability in the event of issues where we have to share weapons, share ammo. We're all using the same weapon. It just makes more sense than for us to carry something different. Aerosol update. We found out that, we approved them to put an antenna on one of the water towers. We found out that they couldn't do line of sight to City Hall to provide us with the internet and phone service that we had requested. This was part of the deal. So we needed a taller tower. So we went out and got a bid for a new tower. Our tower, by the way, is 80 foot. They said it needed to be at least 100 foot. So we got a bid, and then they came back and said, well, we'd like to have it 100, maybe 140 foot. Then they came back and said, look, we'll pay for the tower. So instead of about a $14,000 tower that we might have to put up, they're going to pay for it. We'll come back to the council at some point because it'll be an agreement, a share cost, share use, not a share cost, but a use agreement that the City Council will have to approve on. We charge them $1 a year for the space for the tower, and they charge us $1 a year for the antenna space. Probably how that'll work. Just giving you an update on that. Census 2000, we still need to get the word out. They are going door to door, I understand, starting either now or soon. We are at 69.2%. We're still lagging behind Cabot and Austin. If you've heard about the car wash challenge, it looks like myself and Mayor Kincaid maybe haven't washed vehicles in Austin, and that's okay because that's the smallest fleet in the game. So that works out. The bottom line is we need to get people to do their census data input. You were given tonight, I don't know if you saw it, if you got the copy from Metro Plan, but the population change for the City of Ward projected at 5,585 right now, which is a 37.3% change from 2010. We are the second largest city in the county and the second fastest growing in Metro Plan. We are moving forward. Update on sales tax from January to July of this year. The city portion of the county sales tax is up 12.76. City sales tax is up 0.2.7. In July alone, the city sales tax was up 40%. That's good. And that is a testament of the ability that we get internet sales tax. If we didn't have that, there's no telling what. But most, especially smaller cities, this is where it was good not to have a large city sales tax base. North Little Rock, for instance, has lots of businesses. People didn't go to the businesses. So city sales tax on that end has decreased so much that even internet sales hasn't made up, and they are at a loss. Smaller cities are actually kind of making out good in this pandemic on this aspect. Still want businesses in town, don't get me wrong. August 24th, like I said, there's going to be a joint city council planning commission workshop. Be facilitated by Metro Plan planners to discuss steps. We're going to update our subdivision regulations, our zoning regulations, our land use, master land use, our master street plan. We're going to update it all. It's going to take some time, but we're going to get started on it. To prelude to that, Metro Plan officials will be here this Thursday for what's called a windshield tour. We will take them through the town, show them Highway 367 corridor that we want to make more attractive with zoning for businesses. Take them to the wastewater treatment plant, show them that, and all over, so they have an understanding. In particular, they've hired a new lady, and I don't remember her name. She is going to be working with small cities. There's a small cities committee under Metro Plan. She's going to be working with small cities to develop a comprehensive subdivision regulations, zoning regulations that are boilerplate that other small cities can use. Us and Austin, and I believe, I don't remember the other city, should be working with us to help develop this. That will in turn help all the other cities within Metro Plan, the smaller ones in particular. Because sometimes we don't have a planning staff. So working out all these issues on land use and master street plans and all that is kind of difficult at times, but this will give us the ability to have a document that we can start with that will be on the ground floor with that. Update building fees. In your packet that I hand out tonight is ordinance 693 and ordinance 20503. The 93 one is what sets our inspection fees. The 0503 sets our building permit fees. It's been a while, especially on the inspection fees, since we've updated it. I would like to appoint a committee to look at this, look at the other cities around us and wherever, and see about updating our fees. Are we competitive in our fees, or are we losing revenue because of them? I'd venture to guess that we are losing some revenue, especially on the inspection fees. $12 for a gas fee inspection? Yes, sir.
I'll be more than glad to.
Okay.
I've looked into it. We're losing money.
Yes, sir. So Jim, would you chair that committee?
Huh?
Would you chair it? Would you be the chairperson?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I thought you were asking Jim if he would share me. I'm like, what?
No, you be the chair.
I was ready with.
All right, so Mr. Jim Ware, anybody else would like to be on this committee? Okay, Robin, fact of the matter, all of you can join it. We just have to, call them separately. Okay. Joanne?
Let's have fun.
All right. So the entire city council is on the subcommittee.
What?
Yes, yeah.
Are you coming? You in there?
Yeah. All right. Jim McMahon is the chair. Jim McMahon will work out with you all on when you're going to meet and where you're going to meet. You meet in the civic room, wherever. Whatever you need. If I've had Jason is gathering the information from BB and Cabot and Austin to get you started. Remember, when you meet, you have to record. We have recorded, and then you can record.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Thank goodness I turned the recorder on for the video tonight. Oh yeah, we also have to let the Emily work through.
Yeah.
Got it. It's a public hearing, so you have to. We'll announce it. Anybody can come in, listen to you, and talk with you. But I think it's something that this council needs to look at and update. So I welcome that. So subcommittee for building permit update. Mr. Jim McMahon will chair it. Let's have a motion to establish this committee. You want to make the motion there,
I'll
Mr.
make a
Chair?
motion, we establish a committee.
Got a second?
Second.
We got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hope not, since you all joined the committee. All right, citywide cleanup is going to be October 3rd. Come rain, come shine, come snow, I hope not. But we are ordering additional PPE stuff for the guys that are, or gals, or people who be working out there. We are going to, next month, send out some information, I hope, to see about volunteers with trailers that go out and help pick up from elderly or those who don't have trailers and things like that to try to clean up. We didn't clean up in March, but this is an offshoot, and you know, hope it'll be a good thing. And yes, sir, Mr. Ware.
Mr. Grant,
Richard Michael.
Mr. Grant, chairing the committee to look at a new hate plan for inspection. And since we're a committee, will, they got, papers, be notified or their meeting?
Yes, sir, we'd already discussed that. I made sure that he knows that he has to notify the papers and has recorded and then put it, you know, we'll put it on Facebook and on our website also. That's okay. I understand you have a little problem hearing at times but yeah, that's already been discussed. Okay, back to the ward cleanup. We'll get to that. We'll get a listing out and hopefully some folks will sign up to help drive around and then help folks who otherwise can't get their trash and couches and whatever else to the citywide cleanup. That is, do we have any public comment on non-agenda items? We have nothing. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Do you have something?
Yes, there's lots of places around that people don't live anymore, but the grass is like this.
I can promise you that code enforcement looks in on that daily. He's out daily. Besides looking at grass, he's looking at the building. Remember, we passed several months ago a stop measure for buildings that are being started without permits. He is looking at all that too. It's a process. I mean, he has to issue warnings first before things be done, but at some point in time, he'll probably go out there and mow it himself, and then we send him a bill. Now, if we don't get the bill paid, we can put a lien on that property.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, Jason does an excellent job, and 2 or 3 years ago, we bought him his own lawnmower. He didn't have to borrow a lawnmower from Parks or Street or wherever. Mr. Chris, you have?
I just got to tell right now, we do routinely get tickets through.
Well, Ms. Chris said that probably not on good here that routinely tickets are brought to the court for too high of grass and other code enforcements, and they're handled by the judge. And believe me, he handles them.
Usually grass or junk.
Right.
Dogs. I have it.
I know you did.
I don't know.
I'm not, we have a conversation going back. I'm not sure what it's about.
I was telling him that someone spray painted
Yes.
the F word across the front of the house is vacant on North Street, and I just asking him if he could cover it up or something.
Well, he can't. Code enforcement.
take that off you.
Yeah, we can get that done. I mean, vandalism, part of urban life, unfortunately. And it may be a more difficult problem now that we have a lot of kids who had been out of school. And Chief could probably attest to that. The number of,
I spray painted the street that had that word on it. I spray painted over it.
so you vandalized the street. Okay. Very good.
You shouldn't have used your mic on that.
That's all right. I think we'll let that one go. Chief, did you have something you wanted?
If everything else is done, I just wanted to ask everybody to keep one of our retired officers, Tony Bryant. He was diagnosed positive for COVID, and I just came this afternoon, right before the meeting, they had to rush him to the emergency room because the pulse ox dropped below 8.
Did you not say also that
Keep that
he has some other issues that they're looking into also, that
Yes.
he had some other medical issues that had cropped up. Mr. Weir, did you want to say anything about the wife?
Very sad day today. You got my wife diagnosed with skin on her Friday and then so today it's about 1:30. Found out it's very so good.
What is her first name? I'm sorry.
Barbara.
We'll keep Barbara in our prayers and Tony, thank you, in our prayers. Anything else from the council? Mr. Obert, welcome to the council. Hope your first experience was a good one. I think it was, positive one. Having anything else on the agenda, the announcements. Don't forget our Planning Commission City Council meeting on August 24th at 7 p.m. It'll be in the dining facility to better facilitate social distancing. And next City Council meeting is September 21st, excuse me, and the ward cleanup, which we've already discussed. With all that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I like it.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye, and you're dismissed.
Aye.
Thank you very much, council.
I'm in for that. How do you talk to the clerk?
Nobody told Eric he has to bring donuts next meeting.